On December 2nd, 2025, USCIS issued a new policy memo that basically affects 19 countries. And we're going to be talking about how these policy changes are going to affect people from these 19 countries and what it means for them moving forward. I am U.S. immigration attorney Lilian Chukwurah, and I help my clients get green cards and citizenships for themselves and their families using the U.S. immigration law system. This new USCIS policy guidelines affect 19 countries that were part of the travel ban that was announced in June of 2025 as part of a presidential proclamation. So it's really important to note that this is not for every single person, every single country. It's specific to these 19 countries that are considered high risk to the US government. The 19 high-risk countries are Afghanistan, Burma, Burundi, Chad, Cuba, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Laos, Libya, Republic of the Congo, Sierra Leone, Somalia, Sudan, Togo, Turkmenistan, Venezuela, and Yemen. All of these countries already face a partial or full travel restrictions, and this policy memo is now a USCIS policy memo, meaning it is going to affect applications being filed in the US. The travel restrictions was keeping people from those countries from being able to come to the US. Now these restrictions are going to keep people that are here from being able to get a new status. The people affected by this policy memo are people that are either born in one of these 19 countries or are citizens of one of these 19 countries. So if you are born in the country or a citizen of the country, this policy memo affects you and your applications with USCIS moving forward. The first policy change is the processing hold. USCIS has placed an indefinite hold on certain applications by people from these countries, meaning that USCIS will not make a decision on your case if you are from one of these countries. They will hold your application until the USCIS director issues a new policy memo retracting the old one. This policy memo affects a wide range of benefit applications with USCIS. This will include adjustment of status applications, renewals of permanent residency cards, removal of conditions for people that have a 2-year card and now want to get a 10-year card. It is also going to affect travel permit applications. So if you're from one of these countries and you have one of these applications pending, just know it's going to affect you. Addition to these applications is also going to affect citizenship applications. So if you're applying for naturalization, if you're applying for certificate of citizenship and you are originally from one of these countries, just know you are also affected by this policy memo. This policy change not only affects people that are out of status, people that are trying to gain a green card in the US, but it also is affecting people that may have had their green card for decades and now want to apply for citizenship and they can't actually get their citizenship application approved because of this memo. So it's not just affecting new immigrants to the US or undocumented immigrants in the US. This is affecting long-term permanent residents in the US. What does this actually look like in the real world, right? We know what the policy says. It says they're not going to make decisions, but what does that mean? We are seeing applications that are scheduled for interviews. Those interviews are being canceled. And they're saying unforeseen circumstance instead of just saying it's because of this memo. We are now applying this memo, so we're going to cancel your interview. Right? People that are scheduled for interview, had their cases pending, ready for that next step, are now having their interviews canceled. People that are getting ready to go get sworn in to become citizens are being told on the day they're supposed to show up that they cannot actually get sworn in because of this policy memo. So this is affecting people in real time. This is not like, oh, if you're going to apply late. No, this is applying to people right now. This is affecting cases right now. So I just want to make that clear that this is not some future issue to worry about. This is stuff that are affecting people right now. The second policy change is the review of past approvals. USCIS is going to re-review applications that have been approved for anyone that entered the US on or after January 20th, 2021 that are from one of these 19 countries. This means that USCIS is going to look at all of these applications, decide if they're going to reopen the application, and then the next steps that they will take after they reopen it. This is going to affect green card applications, change of status applications, and naturalization, so citizenship applications as well. As part of this whole process, they may choose to interview you, re-interview you. So if you never had an interview, let's say for example, when they were doing the interview waivers for marriage-based cases or family-based cases, if you never had an interview, you may now have an interview with USCIS if they choose to reopen your case. For naturalization applications, you know you had an interview, but they can also choose to re-interview you at any point if they choose to reopen your case as well. As part of the re-review, they will also do an enhanced security screening. USCIS already does a lot of security screening before they approve applications, but apparently they're going to do a more enhanced security screening for all the applications and then determine which ones to reopen and try to basically take away your citizenship or your green card. And if it is not clear, this is a major shift in USCIS policy and US immigration law, period, because typically for an application to be reopened, there has to be something major. USCIS is going out of their way to try and reopen as many cases as they possibly can, to try and deny those cases and put people in deportation proceedings. This is where all of this is heading to, is to put as many people in deportation proceedings as possible. And the more they can reopen and terminate these cases and deny these cases and put people in deportation proceedings, the more they will do it. Okay, that's why these policies are in place. The next policy change to me is not really a policy change because they have announced that they will be doing away with the interview waivers anyway, but the next policy change is that people from these 19 countries will have mandatory interviews, meaning no application can be waived for the interview. So if the application requires an interview, you will have an interview. USCIS under no circumstances will waive your interview if you're from one of these 19 countries. Now, like I said, this is not really a change because for family-based cases, they are already canceling the interview waivers. Everyone is getting an interview for family-based cases. So this is not a huge shift. It's just another thing to add on for these people from these countries. So mandatory interview, under no circumstances will the interviews be waived. The next policy change, which to me is very significant and troubling, is that your country of origin, if you are from one of these 19 countries, is now going to be seen as a significant negative factor when an officer is making a discretionary decision. Now, applications that give officers the discretion is, let's say for example, green card applications, citizenship applications. They give officers discretion on whether to approve the case or not. So even if you meet all the requirements, the officer can look at your background and say, you know what, no, because of these reasons, I'm going to exercise discretion and not approve your case. Now, right, Now, USCIS can use your country of citizenship or country of birth, if you're from one of these 19 countries, as a negative factor when they are making that discretionary decision of whether to approve your case or not. So this means an officer can look at your application and say, you know what, this person meets all the requirements. However, because they are from this country, and we consider this country a high risk, we're not going to approve their application on discretion. That is the power that this is given USCIS officers. So that's why I say it is a huge change in USCIS policy, and also a very troubling change in USCIS policy. The combined effect of all of these policy changes will be significant delays in applications and uncertainty, because now you don't know if your application that is already approved will be re-reviewed, if and when your application for adjustment of status for citizenship will actually be approved or processed. So that is going to cause delays, that is going to cause uncertainty, and it's going to cause some people to not qualify for whatever benefit that they were trying to apply for in the first place. A quick but related side note, USCIS has placed an immediate hold on adjudications of asylum cases regardless of your country of citizenship. So whether you're from these 19 countries or not, does not matter. Asylum cases are not going to be processed. You're not going to get interviews. You're not going to get approvals. USCIS will not issue a final decision on these asylum cases until this national hold on processing these cases have been lifted. If you are a national of one of these 19 countries, or if you got your benefit from someone from one of these countries, you should anticipate that there will be delays in your processing and possible additional vetting. So not only are you going to wait for this hold to be lifted, and we don't know when this hold would be lifted. There may be lawsuits coming up about this hold, but we don't know if those lawsuits are going to be successful. So I want you to be prepared that you are going to have a significant amount of time that you're waiting for your case to be processed. Okay, if you are thinking, okay, I'm doing a change of status from a visiting visa to a student visa, I can do premium processing and get my application approved quickly. Premium processing does not override the national hold. Okay, USCIS, even if you pay for premium processing, cannot approve your case faster, cannot approve your case, period, until this policy is lifted. Please stay informed and know that we will update you once there is any update from USCIS on any countries that are being lifted from this hold. If there's any changes at all when it comes to this policy change, I will bring it to you, because I know how important and how scary this whole process is going to be for you all out there. But just know that if someone is telling you that they can get your application approved and you're from one of these countries, please do not believe them. Okay, because until this is lifted, that cannot happen. Until this is lifted, that cannot happen. You can get your application in, but they will not approve your application. They will not completely process your application until this policy is lifted. I have to tell my clients that are from these countries that this is happening, right? I have to let them know that this is happening. I have to let them know what to expect and why this is even happening, okay? So I'm telling you, if there's someone out there that is selling you a dream that they can make stuff happen with USCIS, please do not believe them, okay? Please do not spend your money thinking that you're going to get your application approved when this is still in place and when we are actively seeing interviews being canceled, actively seeing naturalization oath ceremonies being canceled, okay? So please be safe out there. Stay up to date on the latest news when it comes to USCIS so that you are not defrauded by someone out there. Like I said, I have to even tell my clients what's going on. I have to update them. So let's stay up to date. Let's not get tricked out here, and let's keep the faith that things are going to change, that hopefully there's a lawsuit and a federal judge understands how laws are supposed to work, how discriminatory these policies are, and hopefully we can get you some good news in the future. If you are going through your own immigration journey, you want to know if this affects you, you want to know if you can still apply for applications, feel free to schedule a free strategy session with me. You can do it by going to my website, lilylegal.com. Click on contact us and you can schedule a time to speak with me. But just know, if you're from one of these 19 countries, the answer you may get from me is that this does apply to you and you do have to wait. Okay. If you're not from one of these 19 countries and you want to know if there's something new with your country, if there's something that you need to be aware of that you weren't thinking about before, go ahead and schedule that strategy session so that we can figure out what you qualify for, what you can do depending on your country. Now we have to take countries into consideration, right? So be very clear on what is out there, and make sure that you are staying safe. And I wish you the absolute best in your immigration journey.